Nick Caley had a disappointing answer to why Jalen Noel didn't get more run against Denver. How do the Texans stack up against the Jacksonville Jaguars? And we'll do a mock draft, answer your comments, questions, joys, and concerns. Plus, Food Review Friday is back. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans. Let's get some caffeine going this morning. Rise Purple Kool-Aid is the caffeine du jour, but we're going to add some caffeine when we get to Food Review Friday as well. Always a good way to start the day. Appreciate you for checking out the video, whether you're live, get live in the comment section, or after the fact, the comment section is still going for you as well. Of course, we'll answer your comments, questions, joys, and concerns throughout the video, and we will go to Super Chats first. Memberships to the channel are appreciated. Let's get into it. The Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend in what is a pivotal game. Pivotal? Well, I'm off to a great start. Pivotal game for the Houston Texans. Where they are in the AFC pecking order is precarious at best right now. In the playoff standings, the Texans check in at 9th. Okay, they are behind the 8th place Kansas City Chiefs, the 7th place Jacksonville Jaguars, the 6th place Los Angeles Chargers, and the 5th place Buffalo Bills. The Bills have twice as many victories as the Texans at 6. They have just 2 losses. That's 3 more wins and 3 less losses. The chances that you're catching the 5th seed, pretty low for the Houston Texans. The 6th seed, twice as many wins the Los Angeles Chargers have. They only have 3 losses. So the chances that you're looking at the 6th seed right now, if you're the Texans, pretty low. You've got to be able to get to the 7th seed if you want to make the playoffs, and the Texans have a long road to go before they're thinking about that. But you can go ahead and put playoffs out of your mind if they don't beat the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend. The Jaguars 5-3. They would go to 6-3, and the Texans would go to 3-6. That would be very bad for the Houston Texans' chances to make the playoffs because they would need to finish then 1 ahead of the Jacksonville Jaguars to be ahead of the tiebreakers. Jacksonville won the first matchup in this series with the Texans this year. So they've got to get this one done this weekend, and they've got to do it without probably their starting right guard, their starting right tackle, as Titus Howard and Ed Ingram both missed practice yesterday. They've probably got to do it without their starting nickel cornerback in Jalen Petrie, who missed practice yesterday with a concussion as well. And they've got to do it without their starting kicker, the only guy that scored last week, and they've got to do it without their starting quarterback. Davis Mills will get the nod here at quarterback this weekend. So, really tough spot for the Texans. They've got to go about their business this weekend and take care of their business, or you can go ahead and put the playoff conversation on the back burner. In fact, you could just go ahead and take it off the burner and let it sit until you need to reheat it at some point. But they've got to do it against Jacksonville this weekend, or they're going to be in a very tough spot. How do they do it? Well, I would think one of the ways they would do it is get the ball to the dynamic playmakers that have showcased dynamic playmaking ability this season. And one of those guys is Jalen Noel, leading into the Denver Broncos game, which, by the way, the Broncos looked horrific in Thursday Night Football. Gosh, that one stung, watching the Broncos go out there and lay that egg on Thursday Night Football against a crappy team like the Raiders, knowing that you could have beat that Broncos team. But going into that Broncos game, the previous 2 games, Jalen Noel had 4 explosive receptions at wide receiver. All season long, Christian Kirk has had just 1. So, hey, Nick Caley, what goes into deciding who's going to play at wide receiver, and what do you think about Jalen Noel?
You try to find balance. That's the question. Was it, is it perfect? No. Do some games dictate in situations in different groupings that you might go a different way? Sometimes it happens like that. We have a lot of confidence. We talked about the depth of the receiver position. We've got a lot of confidence in all those guys. So we try to create balance so we're not wearing anybody else out. We feel good about the depth of the outside to inside and the flex guys, and just trying to, obviously get whoever we can out there that's going to help us from week to week. And sometimes it gets a little more lopsided than you want, and sometimes you get it closer to how you envision it going into the game, but nothing's perfect, and we're always striving to get our guys involved. We got everybody at the game. We're going to try to use as many people as we can to help us.
It's a really bad explanation for why you don't just play Jalen Noel more. Hell, we got to get guys fresh. Well, Jalen Noel had 11 snaps on offense. Jalen Noel was coming off of 2 really impressive games. Christian Kirk had 40 some odd snaps on offense. He's coming off of not playing football for a couple of weeks and a hamstring injury. Were you trying to keep Christian Kirk fresh? Because you didn't do a very good job of that. And if one game got away from you and you just were like, oh man, I really should have played Jalen Noel more, that's pretty easy to go to the podium and say, hey, we didn't play him enough. We want to get him more. We got to work harder about getting Jalen Noel more. He's one of our better players. We got to get him more. And then when asked specifically about Jalen Noel, offered a lot of praise, but it fell on deaf ears to me.
We love Jalen Noel. Like we plan for him. He's got a role in our offense, and I mean he'll continue to do that. And he's done a really good job for us, and he'll continue to do a good job for us. So again, it's sometimes it gets a little lopsided, but it's not due to the fact that we have less faith in him versus somebody else or anybody else. We have a lot of faith in those guys, especially Jalen too.
Yeah, any plan that doesn't involve Jalen Noel getting the ball at least once through the air, any plan that doesn't involve Jalen Noel playing more than 11% of the snaps, lowest offensive snap percentage on the team, any plan that doesn't involve Jalen Noel out-snapping Daria Gumbawale and British Brooks is a bad plan. I mean, there was a bad plan last week. If the plan was, oh, that's how we use Jalen Noel this game, that was a bad plan. Throw that plan out. The guy is one of the better players on offense. You have a very thin margin on offense. You have such a small margin for error with this offense. And I would even say this weekend, you have no margin for error. Any mistakes, any game plan shortcomings could sink you in this upcoming matchup that you desperately need. So play the players that are the best football players. Play the players that can go out there and get open and make plays for you. Play the players that can be explosive when you struggle like hell to get first freaking downs. Go look at the second half last week. Go look at the second half. Go back and watch it. I want you to torture yourself. You'll probably have to keep your eyes open with one of those devices, those torture devices that you see. I want you to go watch the second half. I want you to go watch the game and those plays and tell me that Jalen Noel couldn't have helped poor Davis Mills, who got thrust into the middle of a game against one of the best defenses in football. Go tell me that more Jalen Noel and more Jaden Higgins wouldn't have helped, because I won't believe you. They would have helped. They would have been better than the opportunities that they gave to other guys, and this would be a better offense with more of the dynamic rookies. This organization, since DeMeco Ryans walked in the door, has been defined by rookie success. Will Anderson, CJ Stroud, and Tank Dell in 2023. Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock in 2024. Why they won't put these rookies on the field or explain why they won't put them on the field is mind-boggling, and it is offensive to listen to if you're a fan of this team. This organization overhauled their wide receiver room. They spent their first and third draft pick on a wide receiver, and they refuse to not only throw them the football, but even put them on the damn football field. It is maddening to watch this happen when they're losing football games. If they were winning, I would shut my big fat mouth up and I'd say, well, at least they're winning. I'd love to see a little bit more Jalen Noel. I'd love to see a little bit more Jaden Higgins, but at least they're winning football games. You're losing. You're losing to any team that comes in here with a pulse on defense, and you're losing football games. And you would give yourself a better chance to win if you played players who are good at football more. It's a simple concept. I don't understand why this organization, and specifically this offensive coordinator, can't figure that out. Probably because they have this weird attachment to veterans. Well, let me tell you this. If Jalen Noel doesn't know this part of the playbook, call plays from this part of the playbook. If Jalen Noel doesn't know how to block well, don't ask him to block. If Jaden Higgins doesn't know this part, use this part. If Jaden Higgins doesn't block well, don't ask him to block. You got guys that can go out there and block for you, okay? Don't ask those guys. Put them on the field. throw them the football, be better at offense. It sounds simple, but damn, do they make it hard. It's just maddening. If you couldn't trust them to be where they needed to be. Dalton Schultz mentioned this a couple weeks ago. He talked to Albert Breer in the Monday Morning Quarterback on SI. And he said, we got guys lining up in the wrong spots. We got guys doing the wrong things. If Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins were one of those guys, say it. Because I know you're telling them behind the scenes. I know you're telling them in the locker room, you're not just running. You're not running the right routes. You're not blocking well enough. We really need this. We really need this from you. Say that, because when you go to the podium and you say nothing's wrong, we believe in them, it's not a lack of faith, and then you don't play them, they don't look bad. You look bad, the decision makers. And this season has turned into headsets versus helmets, and I don't understand how you create that divide, but the headsets are failing the helmets. They're failing the helmets that do play by not playing the guys that are talented, and they're failing the guys that are talented by not playing them. The headsets are failing the Texans, and they're making it harder on the helmets by not playing the better football players. It's maddening. It's maddening. We'll get to some of your comments, your questions, your joys, and your concerns. We're going to talk about my friends at Sleeper. Sleeper is daily fantasy. You're putting a couple of predictions together, more or less. And when you put those predictions together and you get them all correct, you're going to multiply your money. Let's put a sleeper entry together so you can see how it works. We're not going to use that Daniel Jones discount right there, but I'm seeing a Nico Collins receiving yards. Surely Davis Mills can drop it in the bucket a couple of times for Nico Collins and get some receiving yards out of his top wide receiver. Xavier Hutchinson, he gets a lot of run in this thing. We're going to go with Xavier Hutchinson more on his yards as well. Parker Washington, you saw us click him there. He's the slot receiver for the Jaguars. The Texans might be out their slot defender. Okay, their nickel cornerback. So we're going more on Parker Washington. Now we're going to go to kicking points because these two disappointing offenses are certainly going to lean on the legs of these kickers, Little and Wright. And $5 could turn into nearly $50 if we get all of these correct. This is the entry for this week. Cam Little and Matt Wright kicking field goals and extra points. Xavier Hutchinson, Parker Washington, Nico Collins with the receiving yards. That's how easy it is to use a sleeper and use my code STOOTS, STOOTS. You're going to get a free $20, no deposit required entry. You can use it on that pick right there. If 5 will turn into nearly 50, 20 will turn into nearly 200. I was going to see if you did the math for yourself. Okay. The code STOOTS right here in the bottom and the link in the description down below will get you the free $20, no deposit required entry. Plus, you're going to get that deposit match up to $100. Terms and conditions do apply. Check out Sleeper's terms and conditions. So use the code STOOTS, STOOTS, STOOTS when you sign up with my friends at Sleeper. Appreciate them for sponsoring the video. We'll get to the check marks here in just a moment, right after we get to some of your comments, your questions, your joys, and your concerns. HB Dab fellas, good to see you. Cameron, good to see you. Caffeine with Cody. There we go. Appreciate you, Cameron. I just spilled everywhere all over my desk. That's good. At least my room smells like grape energy drink Kool-Aid now. JB Allen, the Annihilator. Someone brought in Jamaican Me Crazy coffee, so that's what I'm drinking. That's better than your usual coffee around the office, isn't it, JB? Wags is here. Appreciate you. Coffee Lover is here. Cameron asked, Davis Mills legacy game incoming? Well, he could certainly start rewriting the legacy. The legacy right now is, well, start something here. If Davis Mills takes care of some business in this one, certainly. Nick, good to see you. I think it's going to be better with the backup quarterback because they're going to keep it simple and not do trick plays. Trick plays or just run what the quarterback can run and not try to do too much. Or maybe they'll try to put Davis Mills in a box like they do CJ Stroud, and it'll fail miserably like it has a couple of different times. Nick, good to see you with Caffeine and Cody at 8 a.m. Yeah. These Friday ones, we get started early. That gives people all day Friday to go back and watch and lament how they missed out on the live show. George, good to see you. Davis Mills going to run the table and win league MVP. Oh, I forgot that's in another dimension. LOL. Oh, wouldn't that be weird? I don't even know if that'd be, I guess that'd be nice, but wouldn't that be weird? Morning, Cody and chat. What are we drinking this morning? Got my monster kicking. Waiting on the furnace guy. Oh, yeah, Mike, it's cold up where you live, huh? So you got to wait for the furnace guy. Well, if you had Platinum AC and Heating up there, I don't even know if you'd be waiting. They'd probably already have the thing taken care of. My guy Dwayne at Platinum AC and Heating. He was out at Spanky's a couple weeks ago. Dwayne's good people. If you need something in Houston, hit up Platinum AC and Heating for all your air conditioning and if you have a furnace needs. Rise Purple Kool-Aid this morning. Mike says, also, Mills 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. I'm telling you, depending on how the running game goes, might be 225 yards instead of 300. Mike, I love your optimism. I love your optimism, and I appreciate your optimism. And my goodness, do I hope you're right. That'd be a fun game to cover on Sunday. JB Allen, I couldn't even watch the Broncos game last night. I'm still upset that they lost to those Broncos. Nothing worse than being a Nick with the last letter C starting your last name around the Texans right now. Yeah, Casario and Kaylee having a rough go of things. Why doesn't Kaylee change his hat and see if that changes the on-field results? Great question, JB. Great question. Wags asks, who is the kicker this week? The kicker this week is a gentleman by the name of Matthew Wright. He has been on 7 teams previously to this, multiple stints with some of those teams. He's kicked for 2 other teams earlier this season. His career long is a 59-yard field goal. He's hit about 87.5% of his field goals. He's missed just 2 extra points. I think he's only missed once from under 40, so he's done a very good job. Wags jumps to the front with a super chat. I see quick plays and I see what they got in the wide receivers. Wouldn't that be nice? A couple of quick throws to Jalen Noel, getting him going. A couple of quick throws to Nico Collins, getting him going. Hutchinson. Just get it out of Davis's hands. This is not, look, I know we've been worried about the offensive line. We'll talk about this in a minute. This is not the most dangerous defense that they have played. This is not the most dangerous defense. I thought that's why he was still here, Wags. Apparently, this staff, if you can call them that, believe in him on offense. That's because Wags asked, who is the kicker this week? Dare? is here. He said, okay, tell him, Coach Cody. I don't have to be a coach to know that the best players should play, the most explosive players should play. You don't have to be a coach to know that. Good to see you in here, Jason. Coffee lover, seriously baffling. They won't play the rookies when they should. We can see it, but they can't. Incompetent. Certainly feels that way. Certainly feels that way. If we lose this game, then McNair should hold a raffle and let a fan be head coach for a week and call the plays. Don't do that. I don't want to do that. Jason says, guess I came into mad Cody. Cody's upset. Third person, baby. Yeah, man. Until Casserole is fired, Coors with Cody's in full effect. Crack them if you got them. Early start, but ain't no problem with that. Good to see you, Dime. Hayden's jumping to the front of the line. The fact D'Amico caught attitude when asked if Kaylee would call plays is crazy. He can't be that oblivious. Yeah, look, they're not even – I don't feel like they're even close to making a change at offensive coordinator and having somebody else call plays. That's probably why D'Amico Ryans acted that way, and he's got to at least display public defense of his offensive coordinator until he doesn't display defense of his offensive coordinator. So, yeah. I mean, if you wanted to have the kind, why wouldn't he call plays? Well, all right, but yeah, they're not close to making a change. It doesn't feel that way. So it doesn't feel that way. Let's get to some of the check marks. And we'll talk about this matchup here and this team. So, Gifted, if you have a screenshot of this, send it to me because it's looking all good on my end. RMN Sports, good morning, my fellow Houstonians. Good morning to you. And John McLean's Chain says, what are we sipping on today, Cody? Rise, purple Kool-Aid. But we're also going to have Food Review Friday. Food Review Friday is Holiday Creamy Vanilla Coke Zero. Holiday Creamy Vanilla Coke Zero. Blurry for dime as well. Okay. That's fun. That's fun to think about, that the screen's not working. Don't know why. Thank you, StreamYard, but hopefully it won't be blurry. Okay, great. Everybody's got a blurry screen. Awesome. So nothing on my end saying that it's blurry. So it's not y'all's Wi-Fi, it's mine. Okay, great. Fantastic. Super. Nick says, blurry, we just need to listen. Well, no, not when I have visual aids. So, all right. Don't go anywhere. Awesome. All right. Let me know when it's not blurry, because it's not showing up on my end of. Jeez. Okay. All right. Let's play with the settings here while we talk about this Texans matchup against the Jaguars. I need somebody to tell me, is it still blurry when we have this up? Is it still blurry? But bro, is Cody blurry, or am I tripping? I guess you're not tripping. I guess I am blurry. Let me go look at me through YouTube and see how it looks. This is fun. Trying to troubleshoot issues on the fly. Okay, I'm blurry, but the graphic that you brought up is not blurry. Okay, great. Great. Why? How? Does that fix it? Is it the camera? Your cam's blurry, but the picture is clear. Well, that didn't fix it. All right, cool. Well, the picture's clear. You can see this. This is what you need to see. Okay, this is working. All right, great. Awesome. Love technical difficulties. Let's just get into the check marks. All right. This makes me more mad than the damn wide receiver situation. Here we go. Let's go to the Texans defense first. Derek Stingley, you're getting a check mark. It's a rep check mark, and it's an opponent's not that impressive check mark. And he only allowed one reception last week. They went at him a couple times. He only allowed one reception last week. So, Stingley getting a check mark. We're going to give Kamari Lassiter a check mark as well. Lassiter's been playing fantastic football. He's been very good right now. One of the better players on this team so far this season, and you could make an argument is playing as good or maybe better than Derek Stingley on any given moment. So Kamari Lassiter getting a check mark. We're going to give a check mark to the headset, D'Amico Ryans. He's called an excellent defense this year, so there's going to be a check mark there for D'Amico Ryans. So there is that element of the equation. No check marks for the safeties. So no Kalen Bullock or MJ Stewart check mark, though Bullock did have that impressive interception last week. So I was close to throwing a check mark his way. If he does it again this week, he'll get a check mark ahead of Tennessee, but no check mark just yet for Bullock. You see the three linebackers here. Usually we have Jalen Petrie over here, but you see the three linebackers. Petrie not really set to play this week with the concussion protocol, having missed 2 games. So not set to play Petrie this week. So I threw one of the extra linebackers onto the field. Azeez Al-Shire, Henry To'oTo'o, EJ Speed, none of them getting a check mark in this matchup. And so none of them getting a check mark, but a solid linebacking group, and you're going to be needed against a guy like ETN to have a good linebacking crew. And I would imagine that the Jaguars are going to try to put some of these guys in some precarious coverage positions. Will Anderson is getting a check mark. And then Daniil Hunter, no check mark for him. No rep check for him. I'm going to need Daniil Hunter get home a couple more times before I start throwing checks Daniil Hunter's way. So, no a check mark for Daniil Hunter. So the Texans check in with 4 check marks over here on defense. That's probably the best 4 I've ever written in this exercise. So that's impressive and fun. And then we go to the Jaguars offense. Now, this Jaguars offense it's had its moments, but for the most part, it kind of sucks. I mean, they trailed the Raiders that we all watched last night on Thursday Night Football. Be awful. They trailed the Raiders at halftime last week, 6-3. Like, it was not good. It was not good from the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have been really bad on offense a couple of different times this year. They have allowed 21 sacks on the season, which is right near the top. It's the start of the teens. The Texans have allowed less sacks, just 19 sacks this year. The quarterback pressures, the Jaguars have allowed quite a bit. The quarterback pressure percentage is higher than the Houston Texans, higher allowed than the Houston Texans. So, excuse me, slightly lower than the Houston Texans, but they've allowed more sacks. So the offensive line here for the Jaguars got a check mark, I believe, the first time we matched up these two teams. They're not getting a check mark this time. They're also likely going to have a backup left guard here. Van Lanen is not their typical left guard. It's usually Ezra Cleveland. He hasn't practiced this week, so not playing. Jacoby Myers, brand new on their team, not getting a check mark, though he is a nice player to add when you're dealing with some injuries. They don't have Brian Thomas Jr. more than likely. He hasn't practiced all this week. They're missing one of their blocking tight ends, but Johnny Munt's their top tight end right now, not getting a check mark. Diami Brown is their other outside guy. Not super impressive, but not a bad football player. And Parker Washington is their slot guy. I like Washington. I don't like him enough to give him a check mark, but I like Washington. And so we're gonna get no check mark for Washington, but I am gonna give a check mark overall to Cohen because he's done some really nice things at times with this offense, and I feel like he's a little limited by the talent that's on the field. But we're gonna give a check mark to Cohen, and we're gonna give a check mark to how he operates the offense, how he goes about the totality of his business. So that is what we're going to give to the Jaguars. No check mark for Trevor Lawrence and no check mark for Bashaw Tootin, their backup running back. We are going to give a check mark to ETN. He's top 10 in rushing yards. He's had a really good start to the season. And he's been really solid for them. And their kicker just kicked a 68-yard field goal last week. So Cam Little's getting a check mark here, special teams check mark for him. So 3 for the Jacksonville Jaguars on offense. So 4 for the Texans on defense, 3 for the Jaguars on offense. We'll get to the defense of the Jaguars, the offense of the Texans here in just a moment. We will, of course, carry over that 3 and that 4 to the offense and the defense of these two teams. We'll talk about that here in just a moment, right after I tell you about my friends at TDECU. Look, you need to call your internet company, upgrade the speed of your Wi-Fi, and make sure that your stream is not fuzzy, and you need to pay with a card. You can pay with your TDECU Texans debit card, which you can get at tdecu.org/Texans. And you can also get tons of other perks for being a member at TDECU. Membership's required and they're insured by the NCUA, but you get 15% off of the Houston Texans team store. You get access to tickets ahead of time for events that happen at NRG Stadium. You have tons of different options for your checking and savings account with TDECU, and the perks don't stop. When you put your money with TDECU, it does more for you than when you put your money elsewhere. They're a credit union. They can do things that your regular institutions can't do. They can take care of you, and your credit union is not just a slogan. They mean it. I signed up for my card a couple weeks ago, less than 20 minutes when I went in to one of the 15 greater Houston area locations. Less than 20 minutes, I walked out with that brand spanking new, beautiful Houston Texans debit card. You can do the same as well. You can even get the process started and go through the entire thing online. You just have to be a resident in the state of Texas to get yourself a TDECU Texans debit card. So check them out, tdecu.org/Texans, tdecu.org/Texans. is where you can find all the information you need from our friends at TDECU. All right, so hopefully the stream keeps working, and you're clear now. Good. Probably should need to reboot your internet later. Yeah, I'm going to strangle my internet later, actually, is what I'm going to do. Wags says it's good to go. Appreciate you, Wags. One Mortal 2 asks, do you think we should have been sellers at the trade deadline? No. If the right deal had come up, maybe you dump somebody on the back end of the roster, but it didn't seem like anything really came up. No, they shouldn't have given up. Still a shot. JB Allen, the Annihilator, gifted 5 memberships. JB, I appreciate you, man. You're very generous. You're very kind. I appreciate you. Thank you. And he goes, you know what I'm going to ask? I need that Discord channel. Working through it, man. Working through it. Still got to learn the ins and outs of the Discord, and then got to make it worth everybody's while if we do have the Houston football Discord. So working through it, but we'll see what we can come up with, and maybe I need to chat with you about how to make it hit the right way. Dime says, I don't know how I feel about D'Amico getting a check. Say what you want about head coach D'Amico Ryans, but defensive mind D'Amico Ryans, he's coordinating and overseeing the top defense from points allowed and yards allowed in football right now. So critical of a lot of stuff from D'Amico Ryans, but his handling of the defense is not something you can be critical of. Chaos says, I don't understand how the best scoring defense in the NFL can only have 4 check marks. I think this should lead to a second check mark for coaching at least. It's fair. I mean, it's a team effort, so I would say that. And again, some of it is how guys are playing. Like if Daniel Hunter had a sack last game, he probably gets a check mark. That gets him to 5. If Bullock gets an interception this week or has a really nice game this week, he's going to get a check mark next week. That'd get him to 6. So they've had some games where they've had some big check marks over on the defensive side. So it's a fair ask. Trevor Lawrence needed 3 check marks. Yeah, for the Texans defense. JB Allen likes him some Bayshall Tootin. Yeah, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you like you some Bayshall Tootin? He was really impressive in the draft process, and then the Jaguars scooped him up and found a way to start using him and traded their backup running back for him. JB supporting the Wi-Fi upgrade. I swear to God, I'm calling him when I get off. When the stream is done, I'm going to sip, hopefully, on the holiday creamy vanilla Coca-Cola Zero, and then I'm going to call them and say, give me better internet. I got a better computer. Nothing's showing on my end. I'm getting better internet. But nobody cares about that crap. They care about this. Let's get to the check marks here on the offense for the Houston Texans, the defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Travon Walker did not play the last time these two teams matched up. He missed that game against the Texans. I thought he missed the game against the Texans. He played? One of their defenders missed the game, didn't they? I thought Travon Walker missed the game last time. It's showing me that he played, though. Well, shows you the impact that he had. Maybe he was hurt and wasn't going to play and then ended up playing. Anyway, Travon Walker has not had a super impressive season. This time a year ago, maybe he gets a check, but no check mark for Travon Walker over there on defense. Eric Armstead has been a big disappointment for them. They spent a lot of money on him. Remember, the Texans really wanted him. Not going to happen there for the Jaguars at defensive tackle. He hasn't quite handled it well. Josh Hines-Allen, though, was really good the last time the Texans played against this team, and he took Ursary for a ride. So he's getting 2 check marks over here. Newsome is one of their new corners. Not really a check mark. Wingard Johnson, no. Oluokun, I believe is how I say his name. Oluokun, I believe is how I say it. I'm looking up the proper pronunciation right now. Foyesade Oluakin. Oluakin. There we go. Oluakin. Oluwakin's an incredible tackler. He's had some really big games, and he's had some kind of up and down games. I think on rep, I'm giving him a check. I'm giving him a check on rep because he's been a tackling machine at times. And, of course, Devin Lloyd's had some really nice moments. Devin Lloyd is going to get a check mark here in this one. Maybe it was Devin Lloyd that didn't play last time. I thought it was Lloyd, but it was actually Walker. Anyway, let me double-check that here. No, Lloyd played too. God, who missed? Somebody important missed for them. Well, you know who is missing for them? As they've got 4 check marks, and I would have given him a check mark, is Jordan Lewis, their slot cornerback. So their slot cornerback, Jordan Lewis, is not seemingly set to play in this one. He's missed 2 days of practice. They're going to go with their backup slot, which means that I'm sure Christian Kirk will have a big game. Not. But perhaps Kirk or Jalen Noel, if they can find it in their benevolence to put him on the football field, he could have a good game because the slot situation is not as good. So 4 on D plus 3. I'll tell you what, let's move that 3 over. 3 from the O, 4 on the D, and 7 checks ultimately for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's see if the Texans can get there. Xavier Hutchinson, no check mark for him. No check mark for Christian Kirk. Maybe if Kaimi was here, I'd give him a check mark, but it's the backup, and, well, don't know what to bring to the table there. Nothing at the running back situation for the Texans. No check mark for Davis Mills in this matchup. And the offensive line, which should see 2 different starters at the right side with Ed Ingram banged up and with Titus Howard in concussion protocol. There's a chance Titus is back, but this offensive line's not getting a check. And if they have to start both these guys or they start someone else that they haven't previously started, maybe our first negative check, but not going to be the case. Nico Collins is getting a check. That's a rep check. Hadn't been great. I mean, he was really good in the first half last week, but they couldn't find him the ball. And then Dalton Schultz getting a toughness and a consistency check here. So 2 for the Texans on offense gets them to 6 check marks on the day. Of course, no check mark for Nick Caley as well. So 7 check marks for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It held up in large part by their defense. 2 for Josh Hines-Allen and 1 for, I already forgot how to say his name, 1 for each of their linebackers. So there you go. That is the checkmark game. 7-6. The Texans lose the checkmark game. But they've lost the checkmark game before and won the football game. They've won the checkmark game before and lost the football game. You're a winner if you use Texans Turf. Texans Turf is where you can get turf for your backyard, your front yard, anything that you want to replace in your yard with turf. Texans Turf is the way to go. Landry did all the shopping for you. My buddy Landry Locker from the locker room, he did all the shopping for you. He talked to numerous people, got the prices, the estimates, all that. And Dan the man at Texans Turf was the best service, the best price. And Dan the man is who we recommend to you for your turf needs. TexansTurf.com is where you can see that beautiful portfolio. It's where you can schedule that free estimate from putting greens to play areas to just that strip of land between you and your neighbor that neither one of you want to mow. You can just replace that with Texans Turf. The drainage is fantastic. It's always clean, always green. Don't have to worry about bugs and anthills and all that crap popping up on your turf. TexansTurf.com. Schedule that free estimate on the website today, TexansTurf.com. Still have the comments, the questions, the joys, and the concerns to get to over in the chat. Still have a food review, and we will get to a mock draft as well at some point. How about that? How about a little mock draft simulator situation for us here? In a minute, we'll do something we haven't done, which is go to the 4th round for the Houston Texans. We'll do that here in just a minute, but let's get to some of your comments and your questions, what you have, and appreciate everybody for checking in. Blurry or not on the video. Mike says, if Mills looks bad, can you ask D'Amico why Gerard Johnson hasn't been fired yet? Franchise QB has gotten worse every year. Backup looked the same. Gerard needs to be fired. I won't ask him that way, but there's certainly a conversation to be had. Keo says, feels like an easy dub kind of week. Feel me? I don't think I do. I think the Texans make it harder than it needs to be sometimes. I don't think I do feel you on the easy dub. And then right there, not with Davis Mills at quarterback. Chewy, we probably could have traded Hunter for a 3, which we could have turned into Breece Hall. If you traded Daniel Hunter for a 3rd-round pick and 8 the cap issues with that, I think I'd be pissed. The 3rd-round picks, you can get way more for Daniel Hunter, but I would not have traded Daniel Hunter. JB Allen, I do have hope one of these weeks, one of these practice reps as the starter, Davis Mills can look better this week coming in than he did coming in relief. Yeah, that's absolutely something that you should look forward to this Sunday. Mills should look more comfortable and more in tune. He talked about this week. He had hardly no reps as the backup quarterback during the week. He's going to get all the reps because he's the starting quarterback this week. Yes, I do remember when Eric Armstead had to apologize for supporting former teammate Azeez Al-Shire after Al-Shire hit Trevor Lawrence. I do remember that. I don't believe Eric Armstead's had a lot of fun there in Jacksonville. I don't believe he's had a lot of fun there. Devin Lloyd's nasty. Good to see you, Chucky Dog. Mike Roberts. Annie, are you okay? God, dog it. Annie, are you okay? Oluwakan. Oluwakan. Oh, I think that's how you say it. Oluwakan. Oluwakan. Annie, are you okay? Oluwakan. It's a little Chris Berman for you. Annie, are you okay? Oluwakan. My teeth look so yellow. Ugh. That's a lot on the D early, Cody. It's okay to admit no check for Nico. Yeah, but he's the best wide receiver in this football game. He's getting a check. Let's get a check. I don't see where we get a check on offense. I mean, yeah, Nico and Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz's toughness and that big play last week, give him a check mark. Mustard paper. Cody, when do you put up the Christmas tree? I mean, some people are putting it up November 1st these days. I don't know if that's – my family usually does it right after Thanksgiving. Throw it up right after Thanksgiving and leave it up till, right about the new year, and then it's everything's down. But I know some people are doing it like November 1st these days. Seems a little early to me. JB Allen only wants Dalton to get a check. Nico's been kind of a disappointment. Sure, Nico compared to what he was supposed to be and Nico and what he has been, disappointment, but he's still the best wide receiver when he steps on the field this Sunday. This could be a trap game, although it's tough to be a trap game when you feel like you need to be ready for it because you're missing so many guys. What kind of bet can we do for Mills over under 225 and 2 touchdowns? Sub for a chug of what? Oh, man, 225 and 2 touchdowns. Mike, if that happens, Mike, I'll let you pick my caffeine for Caffeine with Cody one of these days. I'll let you pick my caffeine if that happens. You think they can pull it out if the D plays lights out this weekend? Certainly. Certainly. The defense gives you a chance to be in every game, as they've done most of this year. The defense gives you a chance in every game. Somebody, I got to show you guys a text message I just got. One of the listeners made me peeling my eyes open a sticker, and now he's using it in his text messages with me. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Mike says he never took his tree down. He just took all the stuff off it and put it in an unused room. That's one way to do it. Mustard's going November 1st for the tree. Cowboys could use someone like Hunter right now. Yeah, but they went and got Quinnen Williams. They wanted somebody on the interior, and they're hoping Quinnen Williams' pass rush comes back. So Quinnen Williams would have been a good one. Yeah, Mike, if Davis Mills hits 220 over 225 and 2 touchdowns, I'll find the drink that you're talking about. Speaking of drinks, let's do a live food review Friday. This is the new offering from the fine people over at Coke. Holiday Creamy Vanilla. Now, I have to be honest with you. I don't love vanilla Coke. I don't love cherry vanilla stuff, even though I love cherry. But I love cherry Coke. So I'm dubious about this at best. But the Holiday Creamy Vanilla is our food review Friday for this week. It smells just like the vanilla Coke, okay? It smells just like the vanilla Coke. As always, a sip, a swish, and a gulp before ultimately we make our decision here. So let's start with the sip. Now I have the zero sugar version. Okay. It tastes similar to the vanilla Coke. It tastes similar to the vanilla Coke. It doesn't have that long lasting vanilla flavor. It kind of turns to that sweetness there at the back end. Let's get the swish here. Okay. It's not overpoweringly vanilla. It's not overpoweringly vanilla. And it doesn't linger like the vanilla Coke. Let's get the gulp here. Okay, it's not I like how they tell you on the back it contains no dairy. I like this more than vanilla Coke. Because it's not so strong on that vanilla flavor, and it's got sort of that, when you eat a spoon of whipped cream, it's got like that lightness to it, that airiness, that airy sweetness to it. That's kind of what this has. Now I have the zero sugar version. I'm sure the full sugar version has a little bit more kick, a little bit more sweetness to it. This is not a bad drink, but I don't know that it's a good drink. This might be good as like a cold weather outside, like whiskey mixer or rum mixer. I don't know that I'm going to enjoy. I don't know that I'm going to enjoy a lot of these. I'll probably have one more of these before the holiday season's over, and that's it. Solid, worth a try, especially if you like vanilla Coke. You're going to want to try this. I'll go scale of 1 to 11. 11 being the best thing you've ever tasted. 1 being awful. Don't ever try it again. I'll go 7 flat. 7 flat for the Holiday Creamy Vanilla Coke Zero. Probably won't buy another one. They are just, I believe right now, $2 for Kroger. $2 at Kroger right now. So 7 flat on that. Grizzly loved it. Mike likes vanilla Sprite. Oh, yeah, you might have to get that in a remix machine. Slow Fox. Let's get back to football. What are the chances Mills operates better in the offensive system than CJ because of Kaylee? I mean, I think you can do more things with CJ Stroud because of he's played more for this offense and played more recently. I think you can do more. But is there a chance that Mills has a good day operating in a pared down box and operating the way that Kaylee wants him to operate? Sure, I think there's a chance. Sure, I think there's definitely a chance that he has a good performance and outproduces some of CJ's performances to this point. Certainly. Now, if he has a great day and CJ's had all these bad days, including against this Jaguars team, it's a data point that we add into the conversation. Cody, are you a rum and Coke guy? I am. I do like rum and Cokes. Delicious little beverage. Jake Eubanks, I can't drink anything with sugar in it. Well, then you've got the zero sugar. Holiday creaming. I don't like the full sugar stuff. I used to be a regular Coke addict. I used to drink a 3-liter of Dr. Pepper like every other day in college. It's awful. Probably why I was so fat. Not probably. It was why I was so fat. And then I tasted Coke Zero one day and I never went back to regular. I like the zero drinks. Diet Mountain Dew, Coke Zero sugar, Cherry Coke Zero sugar, Pepsi Zero or Max or whatever the hell they call it now. Go Texans is he's bailing. He's out. We didn't beat them hobbled, so no. We got to stop being delusional. It's over. Mills might take us to the playoffs, said no one. All right, you guys are very pessimistic here. Well, if you're really pessimistic on the season, then you probably like a mock draft, right? Probably like a mock draft. We'll do these after losses. We're not going to do it every week. We'll do these after losses. The Texans currently sitting 13th in the rankings for where they would pick. They've got the Washington Commanders second round selection. They've got the Giants third round selection, and they got the Commanders fourth round selection. We've previously only done the first 3 rounds. We'll go through 4 rounds here because as we talk right now, and this will change quite a bit, but as we talk right now, the Houston Texans are scheduled to have 6 selections in the top 110. 6 selections in the top 110, including the 13th, 41st, 44th, and 70th selection. So 4 in the top 70, 6 in the top 110. Let's hit the mock draft. All right, we're not doing any trade-ups here. We'll just see how the draft falls to us. And we'll do fast instead of turbo. Just get this thing going. Okay, so a couple of wide receivers, a couple of edge players. No offensive linemen came off the board. No offensive linemen came off the board. So plenty of offensive linemen to choose from. Spencer Fano. It might be Fano. I think I've been saying Fano, but it might be Fano. Nobody wants to trade with the Houston Texans. Carnell Tate. I mean, you want to transform this offense and not use him, but if Carnell Tate would be fun. Kenyon Sadiq, I love him. He's awesome. He would transform this offense if they figure out how to use him. I tell you what, Carnell Tate opposite Nico Collins and us getting some offensive linemen a little bit later sure would be intriguing. I certainly understand wanting to take – this one fits perfectly. He's playing right tackle for Utah this year, Big Spencer. Playing right tackle for Utah this year, has some left tackle experience. You think Ursery's going to be the left tackle. So, you got Ursery over there at left. You got Fano at right. Mauiaga, I think is how you say it. Big Francis, you got him too. Big Caden Proctor, you got him too. You can probably wait on wide receiver if you want to wait. Let's get the big fella from Utah, the right tackle. Shore up this offensive line. Get that offensive lineman. See some really fun players come off the board in the meantime. All right. Look at this. Look at this right here. You got a beautiful little opportunity to continue to bolster that offensive line. Connor Lew's the best center in football. Now, he tore his ACL. He's out for the year. But he was the best center in college football this year. If he's there at 45, we'll take Connor Lew. If he's not there at 45, we'll do something else. Chris Bell is a physical freak at wide receiver. This guy has been fantastic for Louisville. And I know you're sitting here and you're looking and you're like, okay, Louisville got some big yardage, he is a physical freak. Fast, kind of replicates and kind of doubles up the slot situation a little bit. So it's a little tough to do that. So maybe you don't do that with Bell. You don't really need another corner. You could use another edge guy. I think Mateo Uiagalelei is going back to school, though. Lane would be good. Hill would be good. Ooh. How about a big-time safety? Huh? How about a big-time safety? How about a guy that just, through all the chaos and crap that's happened at LSU, Halsey? You know what we're doing? We're going Connor Lew. We're going to get a center, interior offensive lineman, we're going to get a center, and then we're going to go back here, and we're going to go shore up this secondary. We're going to get one of the best defensive backs in this upcoming draft, and I do not believe he's going to end up going at 45. I believe he's going to go a little bit higher than this. Let's get that safety out of LSU. Got a little wait here till we get to the 69th overall pick. Nice. So we're going to get a little – we've shored up that offensive line, went and got a guy in the secondary. Let's see if we can go add to the running back situation, or maybe an edge rusher for D'Amico Ryans to work with. Ooh, got a couple of tight end options. We might could wait on tight end. Linebacker, Whit Weeks. Probably not going to go here, but I could wait a little bit on him. Not loving a lot of what's right here. Nicholas Singleton is a fun running back option. Let's see here. What's at the top here? Let's see what the running back situation looks like. So Nicholas Singleton, Katron Allen. You'd love to kind of maybe move back a little bit. I think Singleton's got a chance to be the best running back in this class. I really do. He's fantastic. He's a do-it-all, a little bit more of a do-it-all back than Allen. Allen's a little bit more of the hammer. Singleton was awesome. Awesome last year. And hasn't been as good this year. Penn State's not been as good, obviously. So Singleton's a really fun player here. Let's look at the guards just in case, Look at the guards. A couple of big fellas over there from the Texas schools. I think I'm going with Nicholas Singleton. Well, the running back, get you a little bit more of a physical guy for pair with Woody Marks. Maybe add a veteran to the equation. You got two young guys and a veteran. Let's see if we can get a tight end the next time this thing rolls around for the Texans. See if we can go get a tight end here. A lot of quarterbacks. Oh, this guy's a freak. This guy's been playing his face off. He's been awesome. This would be a little bit of a steal. Would help you in that linebacker room. Gil Howard's an interior guy. You need some interior help. He's dealing with a little bit of an injury at Texas Tech right now. So that'd be an opportunity to go that way. There's Katron Allen. Joe Royer is a nice tight end option. Maybe if he's there at 113, we swing there. What do you want a young guy? I'm thinking of taking the Cincinnati linebacker. And Cincinnati linebacker, get D'Amico Ryans, a couple of defenders here. And then I'm going to get a defensive tackle. I'm going to get Skylar Gil Howard. It was really good for Tech before he got hurt. Let's see if there's some other interior defensive guys here. Yeah, none of these guys jumping off the page to me. Bear Alexander's been a big disappointment. Was formerly a big-time top recruit. So need some tight end help. Need a more of a pass-catching forward tight end. Do I go with another Bearcat? What else do I have at tight end? Yeah, Jolie got hurt. He's out for the year. Koziel, you could get him a little bit later. Delp, you could get him a little bit later. Both solid tight end options. Koziel's definitely your pass-catching tight end. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Texas Tech guy. Interior help. Couple of defenders, couple of offensive players. I mean, here you go. Fix the offensive line with a couple of selections. top 2 selections, offensive linemen, snuck in a couple of defenders for D'Amico Ryans and got us a running back. Not the most fun mock draft we've ever done. We've had some more fun players end up in our lap, but we'll hang on to those results and look at them and laugh many moons from now after we do many more mock drafts, which if the season continues to be rough, we'll do a lot more mock drafts. So there we go. Let's catch up on the super chats and get ready for our Fridays. I see them getting a tackle, moving on from Titus Howard. Certainly. I mean, you got to take a swing at that spot. You got to have a cheap long-term option. If you had your tackles cheap for the next 3 seasons, that'd go a long way for the Houston Texans. Especially if you had to pay the quarterback, you had to get a new quarterback. All the other guys you got to pay, if you had cheap tackles, it'd go a long way. Viromaniac, I want every single pick going to O-line and all free agent signings. I've been asking for a competent O-line since Osweiler and Fitz. Buddy, we've been asking for a competent offensive line since Carr and Capers. So, we'll get you a couple offensive linemen there. Not every pick, but get you a couple. Viro, appreciate the super chat there. Mike, when we were talking about wide receiver, don't want another physical guy. I wanted a Ibuka, which would have been great for the offense. Yeah, you don't want to replicate too much what you have, but you want to spread out the type of talent. JB Allen wants Quinnen Williams' brother, Quincy Williams, in free agency. Just got here. Sad state of affairs that we're in mock draft season already. Not fun, but it's a nice exercise to get the juices flowing, to start thinking about the offseason. And it makes college football a little bit more interesting. You see a couple of the names here, and then maybe you watch them on Saturday when you're just flipping through the channels. The full-strength Texans don't have enough talent on offense to take down the Jags, so no. Sma Chin Ski is not bullish on this weekend. Grizzly. In the offseason, you can bully me, Grizzly. Not today, though. Not today. I need to do some more reading on some of these guys. And getting the pronunciations of everybody. It's another big one, too. Can we draft a GM that doesn't cling to 2005 Patriots without the GOAT behind center? Good question. Taze, appreciate you checking in with the. This is a very funny. What a funny. What a funny picture you have. Oh, man. Appreciate everybody hanging out today, talking a little football, doing a little mock draft, food review Friday, did the checkmark game to get the day started. It's a fun little exercise. Get the official prediction on Houston football Sunday morning. That'll go out. It's free to everybody, free to read. So subscribe in the link in the description down below. Check out our great sponsors. And appreciate everybody for coming through here on Friday morning. Hope you have a fantastic Friday and a great weekend. And hopefully Sunday at noon does not start to spoil your weekend. We'll see. This is my hope for you. This is my charge for you as well. We in the live stream the same way each and every time. I want you to eat good. I want you to sleep good. I want you to be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hip-hoppity, dip-doppity-doo.